There was a moment in my life when the anxiety of gender dysphoria disappeared instantly, not gradually, instantly. And it happened in a bathroom while a woman I cared deeply about was sitting on my lap doing my eye makeup. I looked straight into her eyes, and a thought hit me that I wasn't expecting. Oh my God, I can't do this anymore. My hands and my body started shaking, and I didn't understand what had just happened. There's this moment in my life that changed everything, and it happened in a place that seemed completely ordinary, but the situation wasn't. I was sitting on a toilet in a bathroom, getting ready to go out for the evening. A woman I cared deeply about was sitting on my lap, facing me, doing my eye makeup. At that point in my life, I was transitioning. I was on hormones and trying to move my life in a direction that I thought would finally deal with the gender dysphoria and the anxiety that had followed me for years. And while she was doing my makeup, I looked straight into her eyes, just right through them. And in that moment, a thought hit me. Oh my God, I can't do this anymore. This is crazy. We're talking about 50 years. And not anger, not panic, just this overwhelming clarity hit me. This is crazy. And my hands and my body started shaking. I didn't know what was happening. In this moment, there was nothing strange other than me being dressed, but nothing dramatic happened, nothing different that hadn't happened before. I was just getting ready to go out, but instead, something inside me shifted in an instant, and the anxiety and that need had been lifted that had been in my head for so long. It didn't fade slowly, it literally was just gone. I went out later that night, but not with her. I went out with some other people, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And they could tell that I just wasn't the same. Something had changed, and I didn't understand it yet. Now, for the next 6 months, I kept waiting for the gender dysphoria to come back. And that was tough because that created a new anxiety. Because when you live with something for a long time, you assume it's always going to return. And it had been there every day. So I kept on wondering, when will it come back? When is this anxiety going to start again for the gender dysphoria? But it never did. And that confused me even more because I didn't know why it had stopped in that moment. About 6 months later, another woman invited me to go to her church. And that invitation started something I didn't expect. I had read all the studies on dysphoria, but I hadn't read the Bible. And so I took the Bible and I read it cover to cover in 7 weeks. Not because I was trying to become religious, but because I looked at everything else and I'm looking for answers. And I was trying to understand what had happened that night in that bathroom. I was trying to understand why this change happened. And I was looking for that explanation. I wanted to know what changed inside of me. And what happened is that search eventually led me to a deeper faith. It got me turned towards recovery, and it led me into a completely different way of living. But it didn't start with a sermon. It started with a moment of clarity that I couldn't explain. It started in a bathroom. And sometimes life changes in ways we don't understand at the time. A moment happens, something shifts, and it may take months or even years before we understand what God was doing. Like I said, for me, it started in a bathroom with a single thought I couldn't ignore. And 6 months later, I'm reading the Bible from cover to cover, trying to understand why. And that's one day better.